Hello everyone and welcome to this short video. This video is really to take you through the assignment, which is the case study, the group case study. Alright, so I have decided to do a short video just to provide some clarification as to how you can approach this assignment. So let's get started. Let's review what is expected of us. The assignment instructions reads that this case study is based on the economic activities carried out by firms in a particular CARICOM country. You are part of a management team in a large locally grown conglomerate firm located in a CARICOM country. So when we say conglomerate, we really are referring to where there's one major group, and under that major group there are several subsidiary companies that could be from a very diverse areas of production and manufacturing or what have you, or even distribution. For example, Massey is considered a conglomerate. Answer McCall, Agostini, and Guardian Group, they are all excellent examples of who conglomerate firms are. So the idea is, of course, the firm has established itself within the domestic economy, having grown by several branches. And the board of directors is seeking to grow the firm further by expanding into other CARICOM countries. In the medium term, which is in the next 3 to 5 years, that conglomerate is looking to expand their operation into another CARICOM country. And also in the next 10 to 15 years, they would like to expand extra-regionally. So maybe entering global markets, maybe entering countries where they are non-CARICOM members. Alright, so from your initial analysis, what it is you have to do. So basically, this assignment is about examining the economic climate of two countries. So the first instance is you have to research and gather basic economic statistics from any two selected countries from this list. And the idea is the economic statistics based on what you see, and you're getting the statistics over the last 5 years. Alright, you're going to be able to look at those statistics in order to compare the economic health of those two countries and basically look at their business environment. So what you could do is you can create a table, and in that table you can list all of these statistics such as level of GDP, GDP growth, the inflation rate, the unemployment rate, debt to GDP ratio, and so on. So these are the basic economic statistics you are asked to research. You're going to get data or get the statistics or the percentages, alright, that whatever it is you're finding for the two countries over a 5-year period. And if I were you, in that table, you can put it, let's say, you can do year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 for one country and put the statistics, and then you do the same for the other country, and of course you insert the statistics. Or you can find another method. There's no right or wrong way about it. Make sure that you get the statistics. You're going to have to research. There are several portals and several sources of data that you can use. You need to get the last 5 years. But for example, a common one is the statistics portal from the World Development Indicators database. Actually, it's the World Bank National Accounts data files where they have, you can find these basic statistics there, or you can look at other sources as well. Alright, so this is your project. I cannot coach you as to where to get the data, but you need to go and research these economic statistics. And at the end, you want to provide a comparison between the two countries. So basically, who has higher inflation, who has lower unemployment, or what are the trends saying? Who have seen greater increases over the 5-year period or greater decreases, and what does those trends say for both economies? Are there any implications? Now, if I were you, for each of these statistics, I would at least give a definition of what those indicators mean. What is gross domestic product? What is GDP to growth? And then after your table, where you define each and you give a little summary of what's happening with the two countries in comparison. All right? And maybe who you feel is better off. Because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is you need to advise the board of directors as to which country has the best business environment, only, has a healthier business environment as opposed to the other one. So that's what you're doing for question 1. Question 2 now is, how do you look at or view the political and social environment of your chosen country impacting your firm? So how does the external environment, or there are several external environment factors that we looked at when we did business environments, but we are just focusing on the political and the social environment for the chosen country, the country with the healthier business environment that you would have gotten from question 1. All right, and what you want to do is you want to examine if, like for example, for the political aspect of the chosen country, maybe you could use recent figures so that can give an indication of what's happening politically. For example, the corruption perception index is a common one. You could look to see how the political and social environment directly or indirectly influences this firm of that chosen country, or in terms of whether there are any possible opportunities given what's happening politically and socially. Are there any threats given what's happening politically and socially? Alright, when we say political, we mean like if there are change in government, any change in laws, regulations, what is happening with the political parties and opposition. And if it's social, we're talking about so much different things like populations, healthy lifestyles, growth rate, ages, all right, maybe social influences in terms of what people value, culture, things like that. So ideally, you're looking at those indicators to see how does it influence the company in the chosen country. All right, what does that say? Question 3. What are the major areas of economic activities that firms located in your chosen country are involved in that are targeted towards export markets? So major economic activities are really defined as actions related to things like distribution, manufacturing, consumptions of goods, etc. For example, in Trinidad and Tobago, exports, the major economic activity and exports are targeted towards petroleum products, liquefied natural gas, even methanol, among others, cement and so on. And you really want to look to see which firms are the major players. So what are their strengths? What makes them the major players? Are they private or are they publicly owned? Right? And what is keeping them major players? Are there any barriers to entry? Or is it that they possess particular strengths that is, giving them the advantage to be that major player? All right. Question 4. What advice would you give the board of directors as the most appropriate entry method into your chosen country? And are there any entry barriers that you need to consider? So entry methods include ways in which that firm can enter into a foreign market. And we'd have looked at this before. So we're talking about, there are several ways, such as maybe you could use mergers, maybe a joint venture, maybe franchising, what have you. But you need to provide advice to the board, which is the most appropriate entry method. So please back up what you're saying. What is the most appropriate method and why? Justify why you have selected that entry method for the firm. Also, what are the entry barriers that you're considering? So, that you need to consider. So, entry barriers are really like restrictions that prohibit new firms from easily entering into an industry. So, if it is that your firm, in your chosen country have decided to enter using a particular route, what are the factors that prohibits or could possibly prevent them from entering? What if there are tariff barriers? What if there's a need for trade license? Whatever. You have to do your research to figure out what are the most significant things in that country that could prevent them from entering. Question 5. The governments of the CARICOM countries should not assume the role of prime mover as their major role within their economy, since no benefits can come from doing so. So you need to discuss this statement. So if you need to discuss this statement, the role of the prime mover, right? Should it be, should it not be? You need to therefore state what is a prime mover, right? And do you believe that the government should assume the role, or should they assume the role of a facilitator? A prime mover is really when, let's say, you're trying to say that the state or the government is chiefly responsible for the creation and execution of something within, let's say, a sector or economy, all right, in the economy. So given what you have found out about these countries, given their history, given what do you think the government should do? Should they take the role of a prime mover, or should there be that of a facilitator? So you need to provide evidence to support why you are looking at that. Why are you making that? Why are you backing up that statement or not? So in other words, you're looking at whether if you feel it is advantageous for the government to be a prime mover or not. And it's not just like you are discussing it generally, but with respect to the country that you have selected, the CARICOM countries that you are looking at for entry. All right. So do you think that the government of that country should or should not assume a prime mover role? And then lastly, could your firm benefit from the use of industrial policy in your chosen country? So an industrial policy is, again, similarly, it's where the state is involved in the development and growth of a sector. All right. So do you think that the country could benefit from state intervention in having an industrial policy? All right. And if so, what industry policy measures would benefit your firm? What exactly? So you need to do some research in finding out what is industrial policy, and again, how it can benefit your conglomerate. Again, everything that you are going to talk about, please back it up with research, back it up with evidence, cite accordingly. Where did you get statistics? Where did you get some report, something that provides some information by which you would have based your conclusions. Question 7, which is the last question, is you're going to answer, what are your financing options? What financing options are available with your chosen country? So what exists? All right, how do firms raise capital in that chosen country? What means, by what means? Okay, so you need to look into that as well. So this is a group project. Everybody should share their responsibilities. It's a 2,000-word assignment. It is not meant to be lengthy. You are going to have your cover page, do a short introduction, like a 1-paragraph, and end with a 1-paragraph conclusion. There's no need for recommendations for this report, but you want to divide a report into these major sections. All right, so therefore you can put section 1 would be basic economic statistics. Section 2 would be political and social environment, and so on. So you can summarize the questions into mini headings so that you can divide your report accordingly. So if you have an introduction and conclusion, then you're going to have it within your body, you're going to have 7 sections because you have 7 questions. Okay? And this is how your project would actually be marked. So we're looking at relevance of content. We're looking at critical and reflective thinking as well. All right, so we're not just looking at information in terms of what it is, but its implication, all right, and what evidence you're using to back up what you're saying. So your content has a very heavy weight in this project as opposed to organization and somewhat and structure of report. They are important, yes, but your content has the heaviest weight. So make sure that your information that you're getting is reliable, it's valid, that you're citing it and you're using it to inform your conclusions. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.